Hello and welcome. My name is Roger, and this is your daily tarot map for Tuesday, April 14th, 2015, using tarot to create the life you want. Well, thank you to everybody for sharing these videos, for liking them, for subscribing to this channel. Your support is greatly appreciated, and I really appreciate you watching. So this week, we are working with a beautifully illustrated Tarot of Dreams, created by Ciro Marchetti. And the three cards drawn today were the Moon, the Six of Swords, and the Ace of Wands. So the Moon is a card of mystery and of things hidden. And very often, it appears to represent that shadow side of ourselves. Now, the shadow is a term first popularized by the famous psychiatrist Carl Jung. Now, it's considered dark because it tends to consist predominantly of the primitive or socially negative emotions and impulses within us, like sexual lust, power strivings, selfishness, greed, envy, anger, rage. Now, these strong compulsions and emotions may cause us confusion or even shame. Now we see this idea of the two sides here as represented by the two dogs in the picture, a wild primal side and a more reasonable domestic side. The Moon here warns us that our shadow side, that wolf part of us, might be either taking over or heavily influencing our actions and personality. Now, the first stage is in recognizing it, and once you do, you can begin taking steps to move into more positive thoughts and behavior patterns, as suggested by the appearance of the Six of Swords. Now, this card has the connotation of leaving your troubles and difficulties behind. So, this is telling me that we do have the power to control our shadow side by consciously choosing to do so, bringing the shadow into the light. Now, this card often appears also to suggest assistance from others, whether it be a professional such as a therapist or a 12-step program or even a support group. Battling those darker sides of our personality is not always easy to do on our own, and without guidance, we might sometimes revert back to those old negative behavior patterns. Now, what I do see this card as suggesting is that we step back a bit from that dark side and try to gain a better perspective, look at the big picture. A change of scenery might also be helpful in achieving this. So for our third card, the Ace of Wands appears, a sort of and they lived happily ever after card. Now, this is a card of new beginnings, new approaches, inspiration, a zest for life. It suggests that it is possible to bring those shadows into the light and transform them into something positive. Now, the aces have to do typically with potential and opportunities that have not yet been realized. So, I see this as letting us know that once we do take some steps in overcoming the more negative side of us, we'll end up with an entirely new perspective on life. Perhaps even new opportunities will open up for us in the process. Now, the Ace of Wands often indicates a desire for something new, especially change. So this lets you know that moving into a more positive place in your life is not only possible, but it's attainable. Now, the message that I'm getting from these three cards is healthy changes of lifestyle and thought are parallel paths which must be traveled daily. Know that both healing and change are one and the same. So today's advice card comes from the Enchanted Map Oracle by Colette Baron-Reid, and the card drawn randomly from the deck is number 43, Details, Details. The Details card asks us to be aware of all the fine details of our life. Now, I see this card is quite relevant to today's reading in that in order to overcome those shadow parts of us, we need to first recognize how the shadow is manifesting in our lives. So what is it that sets us off? What personality traits about certain people irritates us or angers us? Hint, this is often because we possess those exact same personality traits, though we might have suppressed them from our consciousness. Now, by diligently observing our actions and our thought patterns, We can also begin to notice those which are somehow harming us or holding us back from our goals. Once we know what they are, we can then begin working on them, transforming them into a more positive and helpful energy. And in this way, healing can begin. And that is your daily tarot map for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Brightest blessings.